Mm, yeah, yeah. Why they call it chatter? Uh, so basically, I mean, initially I mean, what we actually built, allowed you to pretty much, do finance kind of stuff in like in social applications. You get that social application layer where you literally have people like on Twitter. Twitter pretty much came from people tweeting just like birds tweet, and then you have like chatters are pretty much just indistinct conversations between people. So yeah, so I think that's where the chatter actually came from. So it was initially like chatter wallet, pretty much the idea of actually like having this embedded wallet system where you could actually transact cross border in a social application where people chatter. So yeah, I think that's where the chatter actually came from. So, yeah, yeah. So I mean, chatter right now. So the reason it actually does exist is to pretty much create a sort of integrated, you can call it integrated commerce environment for merchants. Yeah. So pretty much the idea of actually like being able to have those conversations and pretty much be able to like transact in that same medium. So if you are engaging with a customer, you don't want them to actually have to switch applications to actually like make payment. So all of that whole payment flow can happen in that medium. So pretty much the short answer is um, the what do you call it? It's a problem having your customers actually switch out from where they're conversing with you to actually make payment, and we are bringing all of those things together in one place. So yeah, that's why Chatter exists. Yeah. So, so pretty much, I mean, initially, like from the early phases where we actually like built that chatter when there was still chatter. So the major thing we're actually like focusing on right then was to pretty much build out some sort of very easy way for people that earn crypto and all of that stuff to be able to use. The idea was not for them not to be able to like for them not to need a second application or to remember like a website or something. And from their chat environment, we started with Telegram. So pretty much from that Telegram interface, you could actually transfer funds to friends via just their username, so their Telegram username. So even if the person's on chatter or not, they're still going to get value. And all you need to do is actually like claim the funds. So that was the idea. And you could also do like utility globally. So so there was that aspect. So that was like the first situation. So pretty much a global, seamless and convenient global, crypto powered utility payments. And digital transfer system. Yeah. But then from there, we kind of like iterated and all of that, and we have had a couple of iterations, and we actually like looking at, okay, how much more value can we actually like offer, you get. So in terms of not just focusing on utility, but like, what can we do in terms of social commerce? I mean, like enabling finance in social layers. So what if we actually, enable some, commerce? Because I mean, most comments actually like just happens via conversations. You have people in a group chat, you have people like talking, or you have people actually like engaging in conversations with other people. And then in that medium, when they're communicating, they are, bringing up potential deals and all of that. Like for example, Twitter, before they got acquired, before Twitter was bought by Elon Musk and co, those conversations were actually in messaging medium. So between him and Ellison and the rest of them. So, but I mean, there's no way to actually like do something like that, do such transactions in that same medium. So pretty much the payment system is broken, and that's how we've actually like gotten to where we are. So we had that first initial version, and then we looked at it and pretty much had a couple calls and basically like trying to understand how we can actually like focus more on the social commerce layer, you get, and then pretty much have most of the other things that Chatter could do in terms of utility payments and all of that stuff. They're still on the application. The users can still use them. But like our main core is now like our current vertical in terms of actually stripping down on how to the future of social commerce. Because I mean social commerce it wasn't really possible to do what we are doing before the advent of stable coins and all of that, so that actually like help facilitate cross-border transactions. So with the advent of that, it actually like poses a very big opportunity to have. You could have like a merchant that does like trades between Nigeria and China, and they could actually like use Chatter to pretty much manage their inventory, pretty much messages back and forth, invoicing and all of that stuff, and actions and everything is set there, and they just happen in that one medium. So yeah, so I think we will say like maybe around 2 or 3 iterations to actually like get to where we are currently. Yeah, so I don't think so. I doubt. There's only one I know. There's only one I know that it's not directly like a super team Nigerian product. It's like a I think what they do is pretty much communities and financing communities, something like that for gamers. So they pretty much do chat. Pretty much you can create communities and have your fans engage and blah blah blah, and then you can actually like initiate transactions in that medium, but specifically for gamers. I think their name is I've forgotten the name, but I know it's Harry knows guy that built it. So the founder that actually built it, he was at the founders dinner in Lagos. Yeah. Yes. Well, it's not directly like a Spartan Energy founder, but he actually spoke to us that day, and he's Harry's friend. We actually built something like that. So that's something I've seen that's actually like kind of close. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so initially when we launched Chatter, when it was like Chatter Wallet and all of that stuff, so of course definitely we had some good user turn up and all of that. So a couple of people actually like engage the product and pretty much reviewed it, tested it, and give us feedback. And we worked on the feedback and pretty much just made it a little bit better. Yeah, but so right now like with the whole social commerce layer, like the social commerce side of things right now. So I mean, we've not really launched it fully yet, because like most of the experience we're actually trying to build with it is coming up in our mobile application. So we're actually like working on a mobile application at the moment, and the mobile application just allows us to actually like be able to customize the experience for our users, and then also not have us like rely on most of these other third party platforms. So for example, our X account was suspended earlier. You get, so that's kind of the issue with having building your stuff on on rented land pretty much. So yeah, so those other systems, those other Telegram, whatever, that's still going to remain. But we're actually like building out our own customer application where we can, better, you know, pretty much build a better experience for our users in terms of controlling that flow of transactions and communication between both parties. Like Telegram is pretty much restricted, WhatsApp pretty much the same thing. So they are still going to exist, but just as a fallback, we're going to have our own customer application. So the customer application is currently being built. So it's going to be at least we're going to do some sort of preview build, in the next coming days. Yeah. So we actually like have a first situation of the product out there, and then have the community and pretty much merchants. So our target audience is actually like merchants. Yeah. So businesses that pretty much that have to deal with social media, which I mean pretty much every business has to interact with the social interface at one point or the other. So those are like our primary targets. So I won't say for right now like the current vertical if we've actually found PMF yet, but I know we're actually close in terms of the feedback we've actually gotten, because we've had, like you said, so we've actually like spoken to our users, and try to understand if what we are solving actually like solves a problem for them. And I mean, not recently, like about a month ago, we started our weekly merchants calls, and pretty much those calls are to build the community and try to hear directly from some of these people that have had experience with selling online, and we've had those conversations and gotten feedback from them in terms of problems they have, and we've actually like built out our whole solution to actually like solve that problem. So yeah, so the very, very good. But yeah, until we fully launch the product, the whole social commerce layer, fully launch it and pretty much iterate upon it, I can see for sure that yeah, we've actually like found PMF. So yeah. Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, so pretty much it's been very helpful to actually like get that early feedback. Yeah, which is actually very important. So we are sure that we're on the right track. No, no, there's not been anything like that. Yeah, it's just oh, if there's a particular issue with some sort of feature that we actually release, and I mean we have that feedback to actually like fix it and make it better. But there's not been we absolutely do not want this feature. So, yeah, yeah. So I mean, Super Manager has been very helpful in terms of pretty much providing that those first set of users. Yeah, so those set of users that actually provide feedback and then help to pretty much craft the future of the product. Yeah, so I mean, if without the community, I mean, you'd have had to build out the product and then maybe send to like 10 of your friends and then get your first 10 users and then have to get those friends to send it to other people to get your first 50 users and all of that stuff. So yeah, but being a part of the community actually just makes it a whole lot faster, a whole lot easier. So you as a builder, for the most part, you just need to pretty much focus on actually like taking this user feedback and pretty much building out a better product and just iterating from there, whilst the community actually like helps out in terms of content creator, marketing, and all of that stuff. So pretty much the community actually does help in terms of distribution. Yeah, and they've also been helpful in terms of funding. Yeah, because I mean we're able to secure a grant from Sparks in Nigeria, and the grant has been like very helpful in terms of actually like getting us the required resources that we need in terms of you know development, marketing, engineering, events, sponsorships, and all of that stuff. It actually has been very helpful in that sense. And then, of course, definitely you have, mentorship. So you have like Harry, you have Zubi. Zubi, you could actually like, always reach out to him, and they always like, do pitch deck reviews, just trying to actually like get you very comfortable, get you to the point where you're able to communicate your product. Yeah, and yeah, so those are actually like been very helpful. Yeah. So yeah. What was the first question? Mm, okay. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I mean, for the most part, competition is good. Yeah. So and there are only like a finite number of ideas that can go around. So definitely there's definitely going to be products that actually like seem similar. You get in terms of maybe there's a particular feature that you have that other product also has, which is fine. You get so pretty much. I mean, there's only a couple features that you can actually like build, but at the end of the day, what makes the product is actually a collection of features and a collection of what is your actual what is actually vertical, what of these things you can actually like do, what is the particular thing that you're actually like focus deep down on. Yeah. So that's mostly like the differentiating stuff. In terms of features, if you're looking at features, like, oh, can this product do this, can this product do this, can this product do this. For any feature you pick, off ramping, utility or whatever, you see like, a handful of products that actually do the same. But at the end of the day, it's not entirely like one thing. Yeah, it's you just need to actually like find a way to consolidate. Or if you feel that you can't maybe compete or it's actually like a whole lot. I mean, there's a whole lot of farms and all of that stuff right now. So you could, always, pivot or pretty much, add that one thing, that unique selling point or something that will actually like make others use you instead. Yeah. And then in terms of um what products have you looked at and seeing what they are doing and kind of like wanting to like emulate them or something. So yeah, so a good one would be Aza. Yeah, so Aza is a product built by Super Manager founder, and it's in terms of like their social media management and engagement, it's actually like pristine. It's like actually one of the best we've seen of recent. So in terms of content marketing and content strategies and all of that stuff. So Ava is actually a very, very good example of such a product. So yeah. Mm, mm. Yeah, I mean, no, Chatter is live. Chatter is like it's live and it's on mainnet and processing transactions and all of that stuff. So yeah, but like what I'm saying, like the actual chatter that which is one like it's on Telegram, the one that you're using on Telegram, see that's the live that is functional. So it's on mainnet, it's live with those transactions. So, but what I'm talking about is like mostly like the core part, the core social commerce layer. Pretty much what we're aiming to do is to pretty much turn messaging into monetized storefronts. So that's what we're actually like building. And that's whole that particular to solve that particular one liner. Yeah. So we actually need to build out from feature that we're going to launch in at least the first version is going to come out in like the next couple of days. So yeah. Mm, yeah. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So so I mean, for the most part, yeah, it's um you have people that are actually like coming and like you said, so you have people that want to use the product and they don't really want to know what's happening or whatever. They just want it to work. So one of the things we've done is, of course, definitely we have like a sort of help section. So like on the TG, you actually like have the help command that pretty much just gives you like some sort of FAQ on or maybe common questions that people have or people that have issues with and all that stuff. So you can actually like give them just a very brief explanation or pretty much an answer to your question in terms of that particular issue that you have. Yeah, so we've actually like done things like that, and yeah. So and then we've also had members of the community actually create videos, so video content on how to do X with Chatter, how to do Y with Chatter. So we've actually like had a bunch of those done, yeah. And then as time goes on, most of our efforts and all of that is actually trying to get this thing out there. That's when I say this thing, I mean like the application. So yeah, so once that is out there and gets into some sort of stable level, we'll definitely invest or put a whole lot more into actually like explaining um, how most of the features work or how to set up this, how to set up that. Because I mean we've noticed that sometimes we actually even put text that actually says that, oh, if you want to do this first or something. By the end of the day, they just end up doing what's on their mind for the most part. To actually like, make sure that those instructions are visible, more visible, so that users do not have issues with having to stress out in terms of actually like performing simple tasks. So yeah, 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 yeah. What was yeah? Just to clarify, when you say mobile, um do you mean anything like related to the mobile application or something? Yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah, so basically, like, so initially when we started charter, one of the things that we actually like, had in mind was to pretty much make this thing as seamless as possible. Yeah, so I mean on charter, if you actually want to interact with it, all you need to do is just to send a single command. Yeah, and once you do that, there's no form to fill or anything like that. There's no like complicated process. It's just send this send this command to to the bot, and pretty much every other thing is going to be done, behind the scenes. And boom, you have an account, and you can pretty much fund your wallet and transact ASAP. So that core of actually like making things as simple as possible is one of the things that actually like drive us at Tracker. Yeah, so we've been able to do that well with the bot. A single command to just get started. Copy your address, just tap to copy, fund it, and then boom, boom, boom. You've made your utility payments or you've made some transfers. Yeah. So those things like that pretty much just actually like trying to build out. And that's why those things are still going to remain. So I mean we are building our own application, but the Telegram interface is still going to be there. When we actually sort of sort out some sort of paperwork with WhatsApp and all of that stuff, and that is up. So when that interface is also up, then pretty much you can use it anywhere you are. Yeah. So if you're on Telegram or you're on WhatsApp or wherever, everything is just like connected together. So yeah, so decisions like that has actually like just simplicity pretty much, making sure that everything if you don't actually need to click three buttons to perform an action, then you shouldn't have to click three buttons to perform an action. So yeah, yeah. So so pretty much, I mean, choosing between on-chain and off-chain stuff, we actually interact with the blockchain when necessary. So in terms of like if you want to fetch your balance or you are building a transaction to broadcast to the network, or you are what else? Those are pretty much the two core things where we actually like interact with the chain to actually like carry out those actions. But for the most part, most of that things are off chain states. So you pretty much have like a user profile, you have your currency settings, you have your country settings, you have your language settings, you have a bunch of all of these other things, sort of the messaging and all of that stuff pretty much taken away from the public on-chain world. So that pretty much just means that you don't really need to interact on-chain if you don't need to. Yeah, of course, definitely on-chain interactions. Yeah, it's not free. You get so. They're just bringing it down to just those core functionalities. So whenever we actually inspire those core functionalities, that's when we have the on-chain interaction. Yeah. Now, in terms of, I don't understand. In terms of, no, no, no. It's listen. Something just hold on. I don't even get. So yeah. So the second question, in terms of how do we actually like maintain, how do you maintain pretty much stop network congestion and stuff, have you, in terms of providing the experience for the users? Yeah. So I mean, we have servers, yeah, and then those servers, of course, are like computers that could actually get overloaded in terms of in cases where you have like high traffic and all of that stuff. So yeah, so we are using a robust cloud infrastructure to pretty much host our services, and we have we have things like rate limiting setup. So rate limiting pretty much just pretty much protects our application servers and of course our database servers from people. I mean, you have some sort of malicious people that are just trying to do bad things and stuff in terms of overloading your server with data and with intention of actually crashing it. So you have rate limiting in place to store that. So pretty much if you make a lot of requests in a very short time, it's going to just block the request from coming through. So we have that set up. We have catching, so we actually use catch a lot. Um, of course, definitely it's not the sort of data you can catch, but we've actually like, catch the right pieces of data. And what that means is if you actually need access to data that probably doesn't change your phone. or it's like highly requested by a whole lot of people, you actually have a cache system that catches it. And in cases where you make those requests, it just pretty much saves you data from the cache instead of having to like hit the database every single time. So so yeah, and then we have some sort of load balancer system just to pretty much ensure that if we do actually need more than a single server, our instance can pretty much scale to be able to like support those that demand, so that users will actually like get stalled and all of that. So yeah. 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 No, continue. Mm. So basically, you're asking, yeah, yeah, yeah. So so of course, definitely, you're benefiting from the speed of the blockchain. We pretty much get like sub-second finality. The speed of the blockchain, it's actually like very cheap to interact with the blockchain in terms of transferring value and all of that. It's scalable. The community is like second to none. Yeah, and then also we also benefit from the architecture of this smaller blockchain. So for example, on Ethereum like chains, it's very very difficult for you to pretty much implement systems where you have someone else pay for a user's gas fee. Yeah, that's because of the way like the EVM is structured, and it's not easy. I mean, there are P masters and all of that stuff that do it, but it's not native to the chain, and it's not the easiest thing to do. But on Solana, because of the way Solana was built, because of the architecture behind it, it's seamless. They talk about it or something, and you can pretty much um, have multiple signers for a transaction. And of course, definitely you can delegate like this particular signer is a fee payer, so this person actually does pay the fee. And what that kind of builds is pretty much just enables a case where you can pretty much onboard people faster. So in the sense of, oh, Chatter is using USDC, And imagine that I was using ESDC. I mean, you're using ESDC, and I actually tell you that, okay, you use the start command and you get on this, product, and you need to actually like, fund your wallet with Soul first, and then fund your wallet to ESDC. They're actually going to be transferring. So that's actually like a bad experience, and most people will actually drop off. But what Solana has done is pretty much enable us to, you know, pay the fee for the user, and then all the user needs to worry about is pretty much just fund the wallet. And when they fund their wallet, they can just transact and all of that without having to bother about fees. So those are some Solana specific features that actually helped us. Mm. How do I validate what? Yeah, 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 yeah. So so, I mean, we have um so PMS is pro market fit, yeah. So and it's pretty much just saying that, okay, you believe strongly that this product has gotten to the point where it actually services the market. Yeah, so you pretty much the people that actually like target, and you are sure with most likely with data backing you that yes, this product is actually like, it's actually servicing the intended audience. Yeah, but then in cases where you have, things like, with with Nigeria, with the whole crypto ban and all of that stuff, it actually gets harder. But I mean, you won't really see like, people actually like, publicly talking about the product, or publicly like, drawing attention to it online because of the risk of, having issues with the government and all of that. But I mean, it's still possible to actually like validate it. I mean, you could literally like, reach out physically. You can, actually like go to the people that actually like need your product. So like go out and meet these merchants, and have conversations with them. I mean, River Finance actually does it well. So I mean, most of their most of their merchants and all that's not even people on Twitter or something. So you actually need to literally like hit the streets, go out there and actually like talk to them face to face. Yeah. So it depends on the kind of product you're actually building and the best way to reach them. So for us, I mean, definitely we actually need to do some sort of offline marketing, actually like reaching out to these people and showing what we built and how we can actually like help them. So yeah, in that case, definitely, I mean, it's possible. But if you're doing a more something that actually like needs a lot of that online layer to it, then it becomes difficult. But I mean, right now we actually like have the regulate like a lot more regulatory clarity. So in terms of the programs by the SEC and all of that to just try to get most of the of the crypto products and all of that stuff in their sandbox and all of that stuff. So it has gotten like a lot better. But then in cases like that, you just need to actually find the best way to get across to your audience. So that could mean actually like posting them physically. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so basically in terms of if if we would have so something that we could have built that we probably didn't because of the whole regulatory wherever. Yeah. So yeah, so I mean, definitely like for example, chatter when we actually like launch, we have people actually like telling us that they want to use the application, but they can't because they have fiat, they have naira, and you can't actually like use naira on the application. So how do they actually like get to use naira on the app? So and of course that would mean doing some sort of on ramp. So so yeah, but now the technicalities to actually like build out an on ramp solution for Tata is very possible, like technically, yeah. So it's possible to actually like build that out, but we decided not to do that. Instead, we're actually like looking to partner with third parties that would actually like handle that aspect of things. Yeah. And one of the major reasons for that is pretty much just because of the regulatory, having to deal with, fiat and having to deal with being like, a virtual asset service provider and, the whole pretty much regulatory hurdles around all of that. So that's one thing that we actually like, didn't do, mostly because of the regulatory scene of the regulatory scene in Nigeria. So yeah, and then I think the second question was if if it was like not like this, if it was clearer, if everything was like much better, would we have built something else or something? So yeah, so I don't know. I have not actually thought about that. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I really don't think that I think that builders will build. Yeah, so pretty much, I mean, you have to actually like building on ramps and off ramps, yeah, and most likely they've not actually gotten all of that, all of the whole regulatory side of things sorted. But there is hope, yeah, that things will actually get there, and it's better to just build this thing and I mean, if you build something, it's not like you're just carrying your house or something when you're still like a baby or something. You get. So by the time they want to come and carry you, you might have actually like succeeded with your building. So builders will still build. So pretty much yes, despite the whole regulatory and clarity, you just need to build. Yeah. So build a product, put it out there, and pretty much see how the market feels it. And then of course, definitely with time, we hope that there's like a better structure, a better outcome in terms of the regulatory clarity. So, yeah, yeah. So pretty much what people say in terms of product development and yeah, yeah. So crypto product development. Um, I mean, most people would say yeah. I mean, definitely for you to actually like build a community. Yeah, so I mean, in the crypto space, you usually have people, crypto pretty much just promises like the internet capital market and all of that, and then you have people that come on there and they believe that before you actually like build the product, you need a community before you actually like build the product and all of that, and that's actually very good. That's actually good. By itself. But I mean, their main intention is, build this community, pretty much have them. The idea is pretty much just to have a bunch of people and then try to, just tell them, okay, like this is the product I actually building, this is the community for the product. And before you even launch the product, you're, pretty much just trying to get them to use the product in terms of in expectation of rewards and tokens and all of that stuff. So that's actually bad because I mean at the end of the day, if the product actually does launch, or the worst I would actually even launch tokens before even having an actual product. Yeah. So like I mean, super team, you have like founders, apps, tokens. So you pretty much have like this fat ideology and have like founders, yeah, and then you pretty much found an idea, you found a product, you build something, You go to the app stage and then finally tokens, not the other way around. Yeah. So, but some people actually like bring all of these things forward. They actually like do it backwards, and that's a problem. That's a problem. I'm coming. Let me text someone. He called me. So yeah, so that's a problem. Yeah. So pretty much that's not the right way to talk about it. You need to actually like have this product, have it working, get people that actually like need and use the product, not just getting a bunch of people. And at the end of the day, they're not actually interested in the product, they're just interested in the rewards or potential rewards they could actually get. So that's actually pretty. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. 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 So, yeah. Yeah, so definitely there will be positive change. You know, if more people had like a more streamlined, I mean, like yesterday we had a call and we were like our fourth merchant call, and we had a guest speaker. So Marvin was, the speaker of our call, and he pretty much just talked about the experience of actually like having to deal with a lot of DeFi protocols and all of that stuff. But if it was like a more unified, um, you know, way, I mean, definitely you can't actually like have people do the same thing in terms of user experience. So some applications will definitely be more user friendly than others. You get, but if there's a way to actually like kind of take some things here and there from some products. So in this case now, like chatter. So if there's like a particular way we actually like do something, and others like adopted it, then definitely there's going to be growth on that front. So because I mean we've actually like taken the like I said earlier, so we're pretty much just making one of our costs of actually like making it as simple as possible so that users don't get confused and all of that. I mean, definitely, that sometimes we actually get it wrong, but for the most part, that's what we are actually like aiming for. And I mean, with actually like releasing all of these things and having people actually like test it out and all of that, definitely, they're going to give us feedback and we fix up any like issues or issues in the user experience flow. Yeah. So so what do global founders get wrong about the African market? Well, so one thing I would say is like, I mean, for most part, most of them would actually believe that um, we are not ready. Yeah, in terms of actually competing on the global stage, they would believe that we're not actually ready. But I mean, in recent years, we've seen a whole lot of innovation, both around the globe and in Africa. And Africa is actually waking up. Yeah, we have people actually like doing great things from Africa, and they are actually like seeing that effect is actually like felt all over the world. So Africa is actually waking up, and anybody that is thinking that we are not a good market or we're not a good target audience for their products, then they are definitely wrong. Except it's a situation where this product is actually for this particular set of people, yeah, for this particular demographics, like a niche product. But if you are generally thinking that Africa is not like a good market and all of that, yes, definitely there's still some sort of uncertainty in terms of regulatory clarity and government policies and all of that stuff. But we're actually getting there. So yeah, and then the second question was something about the global what talking about design and stuff. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So design decisions. Now, do you mean like front-facing user interface design, or like do you mean architectural design on the back end and all of that? Yeah. 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 So so first off, we've pretty much designed the interface to be as free as possible to actually like help minimize what like maybe like minimize clutter. So pretty much we minimize clutter, just make the interface as clean as possible. So you're actually seeing the things you need to actually do what you want to do at that particular point in time. You're trying to like make it so that there are not a whole lot of things that you need to worry about. So like right now in the application, I think the part where there's actually like a couple things you can configure is like security. And of course, definitely security is like very, very important to us. Security is like one of the most important things when you're actually like in Web3, because you have like a wallet, and you want to actually like make sure that nobody actually does get unauthorized access to your funds. So we have the security aspect where we have a couple security measures and all of that. Aside the the interfaces as fluid as possible, So you can, you see like, the search icon, you can search, you can see your portfolio, you can see your balance in a glance, you can, pretty much engage in conversation and send messages back and forth and, create a product, um, pretty much transact both digital transfers and transactions and, utility payments and all of that stuff. So pretty much just the global community can actually, pretty much prioritize stripping down the UI to actually like avoid clutter. I mean, Web3 usually has this kind of default UI. It's the way you think most things actually look. Yeah. So if that can actually like be sorted out, it will actually like also help in terms of onboarding users you get. And that's one of the reasons why we actually like, this chatter. So chatter was, that Telegram decision was pretty much a way to actually like onboard most people. I mean, most people have, chatted on a platform or messaging or whatever, and you already have Telegram most likely on your phone. You get, so it's just easy to use and reason about and not have to like worry about dealing with some sort of custom interface. So with that, we pretty much carry that same philosophy into our application and just build out a flow that is seamless for our users who want to actually like use the platform. So yeah. Yeah. Yo, do you want to see our UI? You want to see our UI? No, it's not the website, the mobile application. All right, let me. Are you sure? Okay, no, I'm not shocking anybody. I'm just showing, I'm just showing you so you can see what it looks like. I'm coming. Uh, all right, I can see my screen. So basically, this is our mobile code base. So this is a simulator with the app. So this like the app. This is the dev version, so it's still in development. There's a couple of things that are still working on. So So basically, it boots up. It's like the splash screen, temporary splash screen for now. Let me let me log out first. So there's an onboarding flow, but you can't see it because I've already completed it. But we have like people that are already using the application that are on Telegram, and then the ones on like pretty much you want to sign up, you can use Google. You can just click on Google and it pops up this in-app browser kind of thing, and then you authenticate. But for Android users, it pops up as a mode. Yeah, what do you say? Yes, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, yeah. So like right now, you can see I'm just like I'm signing back into this account. So you can just sign back. You can just don't worry about the whole whatever that's happening. So you can just as a new user. So this is like a relatively fresh account. You can see your balance, and then you can pretty much if you want to fund your wallet, you just copy your address and then fund the wallet. And then when you fund, like, yes, you have a wallet address. No. Wallet addresses is mathematics now. You don't need to collaborate with anybody. We built out the infrastructure ourselves. So we have our own backend that does all of this. Yeah. So similar to what actually powers the Telegram. So so yeah, if I log out, let me just log into on that account. Like has more activity. So this is my you just input your Telegram username. I'll be your chatter username. and then you get an OTP on your Telegram. So in this case now, this is my OTP 953 068. What's happening? So yeah, so you log in and then you see your, so like this is the DevNet, this is the DevNet of the bot you get. So you pretty much see your balance, 16,288, pretty much the same thing you see on the bot. So 16,288.29. Yeah, and then you can, do see your like recent transactions, and you can view more of your transactions. I think I paginated this thing, so I need to make it refresh on scroll. Then the same utility that you have already, you have all of that here. You can pretty much find your contacts. So you're going to use your phone's contacts to find people, and you can just easily select the number. If I put a number like 2124, you're going to automatically detect the phone number, and then you put an amount, then you put an amount or something, and then just slide, so you slide to complete the payment. So So yeah, that is completed. You can view your transaction, you can share your receipt. So you have like, you can copy it and share, blah blah blah. Then going back to your this thing, you can see the transaction here, you can see the details, share your receipt or report and everything. Then the major thing now is like this whole chat system. So we're actually like working on the chat. So they see a lot of this some couple bugs here and there, but we're trying to actually sort them out. So yeah, and then you'll be able to like create a, yeah, I need to actually like I modified the endpoints, I need to fix something there. So this store side now is what we're actually like focusing on in terms of someone actually like managing inventory management pretty much. So by default you have like a single store, and later on in the future when we have some sort of advanced analytics, data dashboards, and like some AI integration, so you as a merchant you can pretty much do a bunch of stuff in terms of retargeting your customers, or retargeting your users, and doing invoicing and all of that stuff all in one place. That's the idea. So for now, you can set your currency. It's only English that is supported right now, but as time goes on, definitely you'll be able to set maybe Spanish, Russian, blah blah, wherever you are. Then of course you can also set your currency. So if I set like Ghana cedis, it's going to like update. So now any transaction I'm seeing here now is in Ghanaian cedis. So same thing with my balance, and pretty much every transaction I'm making is going to be in Ghanaian. Same thing with bills. You can pay your bills globally. You just need to just select the provider. Okay, I don't think that provider. I think we need to handle a state where if there are no providers for this, so it's not just empty. So we're going to take note of that. But if I switch back to Nigeria, you can pretty much see your, the providers in the country. So you say pay bills, electricity. So you can see your providers, and then you can just select. And then pretty much what you can do with Telegram. But this part now is why I was saying that you actually want to finish out this part. This part is actually like the main part. These two parts, this DM and the store integration, actually like combine both of them and all of that. That's like the major thing that we are looking to work on. And then of course you have other settings and all of that in terms of security, biometrics, app passport, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so that's the thing we're actually like, working on. So hopefully we'll be done with it. I did the first version. Then, yep. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. That kind of boring questions. I beg. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I see you. I see you. I see you.